Do you get tongue-tied each time you are standing in front of an audience? Or are you in your element when addressing a crowd? Well, today on Window on Abuja, we are going to focus on public speaking. I am Fatima Umar Buba. It's always good to be in front of you. To effectively communicate to a gathering, be it little or large, in a formal setting, is called public speaking. Well, let's learn more on public speaking in this feature.
My father was an Air Force officer who had given his life to the military. Everybody knew who he was. He said, "You're not going to embarrass me by going to military school and repeating a class. Hail to the no." So he now changed and put me in Air Force Secondary School in Lagos, where we wore blue shirts and blue skirts. We plaited the same hairstyle every week. You have an assembly, they tell you the hairstyle for this week is whatever.
Public speaking is the process of communicating information to an audience. It is usually done in a structured and deliberate manner. Public speaking differs from just having a random conversation with people in a crowded place. It has to be purposeful and meant to inform, influence, or entertain a group of listeners in a formal setting. For most people, the thought of speaking in public fills them with fear. This fear or phobia is known as glossophobia, commonly called stage fright. Glossophobia is currently the most common of all phobias. The individual who has stage fright is usually nervous, sweaty, and experiences panic attacks. So if you're a politician, school teacher, entertainer, or an individual in a profession that requires you to speak in public, here are some major tips to consider when preparing for your speech. Number 1, who is the source of your message? Number 2, what is the message you hope to pass across? Number 3, who is the message intended for? And number 4, what medium do you want to use to convey your message? And finally, what effect do you hope your speech will have on the listener? If you address all these points and practice, you should be able to deliver a speech that elicits a positive response from the intended audience. Great orators have delivered great speeches through the ages that have been known to create a long-lasting impact in history. From the speech of Alexander the Great that spurred his troops to victory, to the 1942 Quit India speech by Mahatma Gandhi, to the famous I Have a Dream speech by Martin Luther King in 1963, and the inaugural speech by Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. Whatever reason you have to stand and address a group of people, remember, be composed and master your material.
Together, they represent an active, vigorous Hall of Fame. A Hall of Fame that goes out into the world, spreading hope, inspiration, and hope. Their legacy will be an international community where the rules of the game are the same for everyone.
The feature has said it all, that public speaking is not just getting up in a gathering and speaking randomly. It has to be in a formal setting, and also it must have a purpose. Well, earlier in the week we spoke to Samuel Jonathan about public speaking. He is an expert on public speaking. He's going to give us so much, because I learned so much with him within the week. Watch and see. You're welcome to the interview segment on Window on Abuja. Like I said, we have an expert in the house. He is the lead facilitator and also the president of Royal Center for Public Speaking, the person of Samuel Jonathan. Well, we're here to talk about public speaking the more and to learn more on public speaking. Well, you're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
So can you tell me, what is public speaking?
Public speaking is the art of communicating with an audience in a formal setting. The key words in that definition is that public speaking is an art. There are some elements of science to it, but predominantly it's an art. Secondly, the key word, communicating. Not everyone who speaks communicates. And with communication, it means that there's comprehension. So not only are you conveying or sharing information, but you're ensuring that the listeners or your audience have an understanding of what you are sharing with them.
Okay.
And then the next one is audience. The key words in that definition. Audience is the next one. You must have an audience in order for you to be a public speaker. And finally, formal setting. Some people may be wondering, formal setting, does that mean I have to be at the International Conference Center or I have to be in an office before I am in a formal setting? No, formal setting essentially has nothing to do with the brick and mortar, but it has a lot to do with the nature of the gathering, a purposeful gathering, a gathering with an agenda.
Okay.
So once again, public speaking is the art of communicating with an audience in a formal setting.
So why do you think people are afraid to speak publicly?
It's part of human nature. Just by way of human nature, we don't like standing in front of a large group of people. We prefer the one-on-one conversations or dialogue. But to now stand in front of an audience or group of people or a crowd, human nature, naturally, we want to shy away from that. There's some very popular people, great people, who have at some point in their time admitted that, stage fright occurs to them. Winston Churchill was a great leader, but he admitted that, he gets nervous when he wants to speak. The same thing with Cicero, who was a Roman orator. Elvis Presley even declared publicly that no one can rescue him from stage fright. So when you look at these great and well-known names, you realize that even the greatest of us go through stage fright and that fear of addressing an audience. Some research has actually proven that the fear of public speaking exceeds the fear of death amongst adults.
Wow.
But the good news is that with the right coaching, you can overcome stage fright and learn how to manage your emotions better.
Okay, can someone have a career in public speaking?
From my personal and professional life, I've come to the conclusion that my public speaking skills have opened more doors for me than my degree or diploma.
Are you serious?
Yes, it's true.
How is that?
It's true. Well, because people always want to be around someone who is articulate. There's always a need for a person who can speak with clarity, charisma, and precision. So the truth is, yes, you can make a living through public speaking. You'd have to be business savvy. You've got to be careful. There are going to be the initial moments. You may have to do a bit of volunteering here and there. Okay. Once your popularity begins to grow and increase, and you perfect the art, the more the demand will be there, and it will be an income-generating opportunity.
If a first timer is about to go on stage to address, a gathering,
Yes.
what advice will you give to the person?
First and foremost will be making sure the individual has adequate and exceptional knowledge of the topic you're asked to speak on. If you don't have expert knowledge on that subject matter, it will be better to turn the invitation down than let the event organizers down. Many a time when people are invited to speak, they quickly say yes because it's an opportunity to be heard and seen. Public speaking goes beyond that. Public speaking essentially should be to enlighten and empower others. So if you don't have enough knowledge on that topic, it's probably advisable to let it go.
Okay.
Secondly, your preparation is important. Okay. Some people would say, Mr. Jonathan, I studied my script. I wrote it over and over again. I rehearsed it in the mirror a lot of times. That's not the end of preparation. Conducting what we call venue reconnaissance is important. Going to the venue to see what the venue looks like. The layout of the venue is important. The day you're going to be presenting or speaking should not be the first time you're seeing that venue.
Okay.
Another thing too is going to a venue as a member of the audience is different from going to that same venue as a speaker. So you being familiar with the layout is ideal, but going there prepared with the mind that, look, I used to sit in the audience and listen to other speakers, but now this time you're going to be on stage. So being very familiar with the venue is important. Thirdly, I would say that do some research on the audience you're going to be addressing.
Okay.
We call it people IQ. Essentially, it has nothing to do with the intelligence of the audience. It has more to do with your intelligence as a speaker about the audience. How many people will be coming in? Can you imagine if you think you're going to be speaking to 200 people and you walk in and you see 2,000? Can that bring some stage fright? Yes, it can. So essentially, knowing the people you're going to be speaking with, how many are expected, having an idea of their background so that your illustrations will be relevant, and so on and so forth. There's so many things that one can do to overcome stage fright, but it has to do with preparation. And once again, preparation goes beyond memorizing your script.
We're back from Samuel Jonathan's interview there. I told you earlier that I learned so much, and I hope for people that have the fear of public speaking, well, you've learned from the tips he gave. Well, moving over now to our top 5 music videos on Window in Abuja. What and what made the rounds? Find out for yourself. Our top 5 music videos on Window in Abuja this week are: at number 5, it's Dija featuring Pato Rankin with a song titled Falling for You.
I'm gonna go crazy. Yeah, you not gonna sleep tonight. I'm gonna democracy. I swear you not gonna sleep tonight. When you whine at me tonight. Yeah, you not gonna sleep tonight.
At number 4 is Simi featuring Falls, the bad guy.
Say, sister, sister, please wait. I wanna talk to you all day. I say, tell me what do you want? Make it all be like say I do the front. He said it's only gonna take 1 second. He gonna ask me stupid question. Have I met you before? Is your brother Paul? Did you go to my school? Cause I recognize you. Do you live next door? Does your daddy play football? Girl, I cannot lie for you. I swear I recognize you. Maybe me need your question. I know we don't need, I know we fool. Maybe me need your question. You see your style is just not cool. Maybe me need your question. I know we don't need, I know we fool. I won't pay you no attention. To baby me need your question. So he see me for movies one night. He gonna look me like say he won't swallow me. He say, sister, you look nice. Don't be
At number 3, it's Praise featuring Pato Rankin with a song titled Harder.
In the way that I'm singing, da-da-da. I'm singing the way that she's feeling. Bring your body, let me feel it. Da-da-da. Baby, bring your body, let me feel it. No retreat, no surrender. I will be your defender. Anytime, any weather, I will be your supplier. No retreat, no surrender. I will be your defender. Anytime, any weather, I will be your supplier.
At number 2, it's Ice Prince with song Boss. The track was produced by Techno.
Popping in my name, bottles in my name, shopping in my name, flexing in my name, jumping in my name, jumping in my name. I thought about getting money, but thought about no sabi to shake body. Oh yeah, like I no getting money, but you know say now like body scatter the place. If you want play me conny, you know say you no go funny. If you dey look me for face, you go see say I dey look you for face. Yeah, sure you feel my beat, and you dey see us sitting baby. All my guys them G's, and we keep it 110 degrees. Yeah, falling is a must. Girl, them a coming in a rush, and them a up and leave, and them a flying overseas.
Our number one video for the week is Fino with the song Connect.
It's all my money, we take a lot. We take a lot. If I knock him on, we pay a lot. We pay a lot. You're not even messing with my connect. With my connect. Years ago, I'll never forget. Never forget. Them say I know go far. I say I'm the local. I say me, now the boy global. And one up, one no can. You sing it how far.
You're welcome back from the top 5 music videos here on Windows and Abuja. And on our number one was Fino. I call him Fino with Connect. It was a beautiful song, I must say. So, we're still talking about public speaking and it's all about connection. So let's go into the street now and connect with people on public speaking. Madonna, please come on. Are you running? Do you like to speak public?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't have that fear of public speaking?
Yes.
Why?
Because speaking in public shows that you are courageous, you are bold, and it's very good because you cannot speak in public. Maybe, take for instance, when you are having a meeting, you cannot raise your voice, even have something to say within you. Yes. Those particular points will definitely die within you. Because when you speak out, other people will learn. There are some things that people don't know. But when you speak in public, people will learn from your speech. So it's very good to speak in public.
So, but what gives you that confidence? Is it your background or what?
Actually, it's not the background. It's the training, the knowledge that you have. Okay. So it depends from personal training. Okay. What do I mean by personal training? The personal training is maybe when you are in your room or somewhere, you ask yourself that when I get to a meeting, I will say this, I will say that. Okay. So you prepare yourself ahead of time, beforehand, so that when you get to the public, you will be able to address the public.
I don't mind speaking publicly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you have that confidence? Where do you think it's coming from?
Because I studied mass communication, maybe. I learned public speaking, so yeah, I guess.
So you don't find it very difficult to do that?
No, it comes naturally.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Being a teacher, I taught before, so I can face public. I can address audience no matter how large it is.
Okay.
Yes.
So that means you have that confidence.
Yes, I have that confidence to talk in public.
So how do you do that? Is it that it's from the heart or like you said from your background as a teacher?
It's because of my experience as a teacher. When you are teaching, you come, you teach. I taught from primary school to secondary school, and I'm even planning to go further now and start lecturing in the university.
Wow.
I'm a biologist.
Wow, I wish you all the best,
Thank
madam.
you so much.
It is not easy. It's only you people that oppress people, like myself. We are trained. So speaking in public is just like normal days. So looking at people cannot withstand people. I don't know whether I will make mistake in English I will use, but we are not English people. Yeah. So things like that.
Everyone is a learner, so nobody is perfect.
Thank you. That is the reason why. I feel that is the reason why, because as a public person, at times you meet different people with different ideas and different opinions. Some are afraid, I don't know, if I talk. Even those who can speak prefer to speak in private than speaking in public. I believe that is why. But if you're a trained person like you're a journalist, you can speak anywhere.
If you've just tuned in, this is Window on Abuja coming to you on NTA, and we've been talking about public speaking. Well, I would say you've missed so much because we had so many things that we dished out for you on public speaking. But the next thing that we have for you would also interest you. That is if you've just tuned in. And for those that have been with us on the program from the beginning to the end, this would add to what you've learned today. Talking about more tips on public speaking. tips that would guide you on how to address the gathering.
Before taking on a speaking engagement, try to find out what the dress code is. You don't want to go to an event whereby you're dressed like a clown, you're so colorful and flamboyant, you're out of place. At the same time, you don't want to be underdressed. Remember, your appearance is part of the package. Personal hygiene is paramount. So when it comes to mouth odor, make sure you've got those extra mints in your pocket. Make sure you have them on you. Make sure you have a bottle of water. That would also help as well. Master your material. Make sure that you're a product of your own product. Timing your speech is as important as the speech itself. Many times speakers would use inspiration or excitement as a reason for going beyond the allocated time. Your body language, it says a lot and may even speak louder than your voice on the microphone. To avoid stage fright, arrive early. Get familiar with the venue. Get familiar with the audience. Get familiar with the atmosphere. Always remember the 3 vital V's: your vocal, your verbal, and your visual. The vocal has to do with how you say and how you sound. The verbal has to do with what you say and the words that you choose. And the visual has to do with your body language and the animation that goes with it. These V's are crucial.
Public speaking, public speaking, public speaking is what we have been talking about on today's episode of Window on Abuja. From the feature, from the tips, from the interview, we've learned that public speaking is something that is really very, very important, because no matter what you do or where you find yourself today or tomorrow, be it in an entertaining environment or in an educative way, in a formal gathering or anywhere, you can be called upon to speak in a gathering. So we should equip ourselves by teaching ourselves and learning more on public speaking. We've come to the end of the show today. I hope we have educated you and informed you so well, because next week is going to be the bomb. Join us again next week, as I am Fatima Umar Buba.